Education and Culture Minister Walwyn says there is a major problem with young men in the Virgin Islands community and admits that the problem cannot be fixed by government alone.
We are having somewhat of a major problem, I would call it, with the young men in the society. It is not something that can be fixed entirely by the government. The government will put policies in place, will put resources there, will do all that we can, but we have to really go back to that old saying that it takes a village to raise a child, or else we're going to be in some serious problems.
That large representative shared his experience assisting frustrated young males gain employment opportunities. Minister Walwyn said many young males in the territory are ill-prepared and unqualified to access various forms of employment. He also pointed out that many young males seem not to appreciate the importance of having at least a high school diploma.
We have the young men that need a bit more direction and assistance. I deal with them almost on a daily basis, particularly through our youth employment services. And we try our best to position as many of them as we can to find work in the community. And you see them come into your office, you sit with them, you talk with them, you can see the frustration on their faces that they can't find a job in the community. And then you ask them, well, what are your qualifications? Drop out in second form, drop out in third form, drop out in fourth form. Many of them do not have a high school diploma. We can help to get your foot in the door if you are prepared. It's up to you when you get there. But the problem is many of them cannot make it in the door because they do not have the qualifications. And you say to them, in order to get a job in the government, in order to get a job in the business sector now, you need to have at least a high school diploma. And no matter how you send it, you try to send it home, many of them are not getting it. They believe that they're invincible. Many of them believe that because they're young, they could hustle. And you try to get them to understand, yes, you might get a hustle now, but when you get 35 and you get 40, that is when things really start to happen to you because you cannot, your resources can't take care of you anymore. You might have had a family and so on, and you start to have real difficulties in your life. And you try to say, go to the night school. Let us help you to get a course somewhere. And you seem to can't get the message across.
Indicating that a lot more is required, the Education Minister emphasized that the BVI has changed and stressed the need for residents of the territory, and in particular young males, to be certified to access the jobs and other income-generating activities.
And what has shown me, and you can see that the BVI has changed so much, is even with that CDB loan that we have now, that the government is trying to execute these different projects. The level of qualification that is required now in this country, a lot of people are eliminated from even applying for the tendering process because the qualification isn't there. The BVI has changed, it is changing, it will continue to change. And it wouldn't change just necessarily because of the government, it's being changed because of external forces. And so it's important for the young people, particularly the young men, to understand this, to get that message and to know that a lot more is required.
Minister Walwyn was addressing an award ceremony on Monday, March 24th, hosted by Follow the Movement, spearheaded by Craig Lake. The event was held to recognize the contributions made by the public and private sector agencies that supported and participated in the 2014 FTM Youth Conference held on Friday, March 7th at HLSCC.